the Scale Your Small Business Preview Week. If you have missed the last couple episodes, you definitely want to hit pause and jump back because there is so much good stuff that you've missed. So last week we talked about assessing all the systems that you have, and this week we're going to talk about the feedback that we received from the community. Now, a lot of people really had questions about what systems do I even need? You know, a lot of times we fill holes within our business with specific systems. But if you don't know what systems you need, or maybe you don't even know what holes you have, it's going to be difficult for you to understand that. So a lot of people were like, listen, what's my baseline? What do I need to focus on? And in an effort to keep these podcasts short and sweet and to the point, I thought that I would talk about the one that affects me the most. There's actually two things that I use. One is Google Calendar, and the other one is Calendly. Now, you have heard me talk about Google Calendar before. I love it because of its integration. It literally integrates with everything we do. It integrates with Calendly, of course, but it also integrates with Facebook, all the different things that we use to get people to schedule themselves. It integrates seamlessly, and it's so awesome. The great thing about Google Calendar too is there's so many different options. You can have multiple calendars, you can share with other people inside your business. It's just an awesome tool to use. Now, Calendly also links up with Google Calendar, but what's great about Calendly is it allows me to create different appointments based on what I need. So for one of my businesses, we are doing health insurance. So that's one type of link. And another one, we're doing Medicare. That's a different kind of link. There's so many different ones that I use. There's probably like 8 to 10 that I have. I have another one for folks that just have a quick question. Now, here's what's great about Calendly too, is that we also have it set up on a landing page. So if you hop over to one of our Facebook ads, you're going to hit that landing page as well as a link to Calendly that's going to link up with Google Calendar and let you schedule yourself. Now, here's the power in this, because I feel like a lot of people are like, "Ugh, I'm going to give access to my calendar to everybody." And I know it's a lot. It's something that is really scary, but also really exciting, because here's the benefit. Yes, you do have to block out your calendar when you know you're going to be gone or doing something, because you never know when someone's going to jump in. That's especially true for me this time of year, because people are coming from all different sources using all different links and linking into my calendar. So if there's something specific that I need to do, let's say it's a dentist appointment, I've got to make sure that not only am I blocking out the time for that appointment, but also the travel time there and back. Because if not, someone will inadvertently schedule on that, and then I have to reach out to them and try to move them around. So it's just easier if you get things blocked out ahead of time. Now, this is going to force you to plan your weeks out. So if you're not someone who's typically used to planning, you know, if you're fly by the seat of your pants every day, this might not be the best system for you. But if you're in a similar industry to me where people are calling in and wanting to book appointments with you, this makes it super easy. And it honestly cuts down on the back and forth of those emails of like, what's better for you, morning or afternoon? Do you prefer one? Do you prefer two? There's so many emails that happen back and forth when you're trying to schedule an appointment, or if you're on the phone scheduling, that it's just so much easier to pull up that link and say, here's the times that I've got available. But what's super important too is that Calendly allows people to reschedule or cancel their appointments themselves. And it's awesome because, again, that's another step that's taken off your plate. It allows people to do appointment updates in the middle of the night versus waiting to have you open up, they call, talk with one of your people, get it rescheduled. It just makes the entire thing seamless. Now, let's say you have an appointment and that person doesn't show up or doesn't answer the phone. What I do is I shoot them a text and say, hey, listen, sorry we couldn't connect, but here's a link where you could reschedule yourself. And essentially what I've done is taken that link from the Calendly appointment, which they can see too. I've taken that link and I've copied and pasted it into that same text message. So that way people can just click on that link, automatically reschedule themselves, no need to call. Now, what's great about this is it opens up the phone lines for other people. So maybe somebody is not familiar with your business, maybe they don't even know that you have a scheduling link available. That's another thing too. I always remind people at the end of a phone call, I ask them, how did you schedule? Did you call the office? Did you do it online? Did you jump on our website? How did you do that? And they'll inadvertently say, well, I called the office. So what I say in response to that is, oh, don't forget that if you need to talk to me again, you can just jump on my website. The link is available for you 365, 24/7. You can schedule an appointment when it's right for you. And most people really love this. Now, if you have some folks that are like, listen, I'm a diehard, I just like to call the office and schedule, that's okay too. But those links are available to people that want them, as well as scheduling, themselves after hours. It has been a huge change in our business. And I will tell you, in the beginning, it took a little getting used to because you have to make adjustments to your schedule. You have to account for travel time, as well as blocking out those appointments. But I will tell you, we've been doing this for probably 4 years now. And when COVID hit, it really didn't change our business that much because most people were already accustomed to scheduling appointments themselves. So looking back, if I knew where I was going to end up when I had started that, and in the beginning I was kind of like, I don't know about this, it's kind of sketchy, it makes me nervous that people just schedule whenever, it is amazing. I would have 1,000% done it. So this is my encouragement to you. If you're struggling with scheduling, tons of people calling in, you have to call them back because they've left a voicemail. It's a real time suck, is to really give some thought to online scheduling. Now, whether you use Calendly or a different system, doesn't matter. But I encourage you to allow people, your clients, to schedule when it's convenient for them within the parameters that you've, of course, set up with Calendly. Now, if you're not familiar with this system, what's great about Calendly is you can say when you're available based on what kind of appointment. So when you have those different types of appointments, like I mentioned 3, but I have so many more, there's so many links that I have. Each one is specific on the calendar. So let's say that you wanted to be one of my podcast guests. So you could jump onto my calendar and those days and times are available, but they're very specific. So during this super busy time of year, I only allow podcast guests or for myself to guest on other people's podcasts on Thursdays. I'm very controlled with my schedule and it just makes things so much easier. So anybody that wanted to be on my podcast could jump on using that special link, schedule themselves on a Thursday at a time that works for them, and they can also adjust the time zone, which is important. You want to make sure that that's enabled so that people know they're not trying to calculate the time zones in their head. So then people can schedule. It automatically sends out links, anything that you want, whether it's a follow-up text message within 24 hours as a reminder. The system is amazing and you can really customize it to what you're looking for. So again, my number one tip, get a calendar that's online, whether you use Outlook, Google, whatever. There's so many out there, so many possibilities, but make sure that you find some scheduling software that works great for you. Another question we had was about how to manage all these systems. How do I keep track of which systems that I use? Because a lot of people were like me. They'd signed up for something, put it on auto pay on a credit card that they don't check very often, and had completely forgotten about it. I think the best way to manage it is by using a Google Sheet or an Excel spreadsheet. What's great about this is I have all my bills set up on one Excel spreadsheet, but each business is on a different page. So I can quickly and easily look up and see what's due on the 10th, what's due on the 25th. If anything needs to be adjusted, I can make those adjustments directly in Google Sheets. Now, I take it a little bit further, and what I'm doing is I'm recording every single bill that's paid for January, February, March, and so on and so forth. Each of those columns, I'm putting in that month's bill. What's great about this is over time, it gives me a 12-month average to see what these bills work out to be. I also have additional columns in there for if it's an automatic payment or if it's a manual check that I have to physically pay. It just makes things so much easier. Setting up these systems can be a little cumbersome in the beginning and a little bit frustrating, but I truly encourage you to do it because by taking time to set these systems up, it's just going to set you up even more so for the future. Make sure that you come back next week because we are going to dive into the next step of the Scale Your Small Business process. We're going to be talking about identifying and closing the gaps within your system. It's going to be an awesome one, so make sure that you tune in next Thursday. I'll see you then.